Hello, hello. Welcome to the word of the week that is to deliver. For that which is the cover, the contour, the makeup, the symmetry, the constitution. My best wishes for Israel and Gaza. You have the boundaries of being yourself, and those are the reasons that separate you from one another. This is why you still exist as such, apart from the other. You are very similar from each other, but there is something you really hate from the other, and the other really hates you as well for that, which is the same vibration. You will see that in the patterns of dynamics throughout the DNA, where the trace of the DNA, the strands, has as a battery. As a battery, yeah, you have the energy field there, right? As a painter, you must abstract. You can understand this through all the verses. I wish you to role play. I wish Bill Gates, well, Mark Zuckerberg, to surrender, stop fighting. Um, Also understand what is the formula of the multiverse and how important it is to correspond and deliver with the world itself. Why? You tell me why. You tell me why. I'm listening 14 hours, so probably I will just listen less to the news. And when I rest in my bed in absolute silence, to just imagine how vulnerable, wounded it is from both sides, with stories that are eternal. I can understand those who have held a lot of money for hundreds of years, 300 years, based on other stories, the belief. So to keep your beliefs on watch and your investments, because as you're being killed, other people kill you as an entity and part of an entity. We can do better things with technologies and money than investing on weapons. Netan, the president of Israel has a name I cannot pronounce, Netanyahu. So the son-in-law of Donald Trump is going for this meeting. Listen to him. Synonymous to deliver are above is you can look at the synonymous on the website free thesaurus.com/deliver. You can look at it yourself. I can just leave the website below this in this channel. And you can link yourself if you like to read this synonymous and to dig in yourself with the meditation. What happens when you pronounce these words? Now, when you're talking about magic and spells, this is what happens with words. I never suffered physical violence, really. Like, I was not my pattern of life, violence nor violent words. But when it happened once, it really marked me. Yeah. I had a slap in my face because of words. Because my father was a writer and he was profoundly touched by the power of the word. And I had insult him, in other words, not with an insult. I just want you to understand that some traumas are good. Because now this is what I do. So listen to one another as well. And if you have so many good words and just have one that is a slap in the face, so you're redirecting the theme towards this momentum. Yeah. Sometimes all a book is writing just to understand this peak. You have to read how boring is all this book to understand in this sentence that's been building up. And you might not be a person of words, you might be a person of execution. They are people. They're also people like you. Look at the people in Portugal, the people in Spain. They're very similar. The people in Morocco, there's a similarity with the south of Spain. Like me. With the people in France, there's a similarity. In all the Mediterranean as well, there is a similarity. And with the humans from around the world as well. We have better works to do right now than the synchronicity of all the world. And it feels unfair that some people are going to be left behind because of brutish actions that we need to live in the past, on the era of the cave. It's going to be buried there, and you need a lot of healing there to be able to transform through the power of the word as well, so people can understand also through movements that are therapeutic. But these people are totally in the head, so they have a very strong psychosis, which means a fixed idea. I do get in psycho mode myself, right? But I only do it 2 weeks every 3 years or two. Psycho mode. Well, I am nearly 24 hours as a mass shooter, right? Online. I don't do, but it's to help something for a good cause, to help wave something, yeah, through all the people. Can I do that right now? So role player as well. It should be for role playing as well. We could role play right now. So you don't want to go into fantasy worlds. Before starting with the synonymous, I was just really wanting you to have this understanding and deliver it in the best way manner without any threats or atomic bombs. That this has to end because the whole world is watching and this can't continue. And the war in Russia, there are consequences to your actions. Nobody here is the son of God to kill others. But of course, they're killing you. And this should never happen again. So, healing comes through bringing a good delivery. What is good is change. It's changing. Creativity changes. You gotta move through the whole compass of storytelling through many people, throughout the timeline, through many verses, to open your minds. You can be navigating with a psychotic narrative that's obsolete nowadays. In the past, I can understand that you need to kill each other so the strongest survives, no matter the rules or the weapons. So they let you be. And that's the victory of being. But you gotta watch your own anger, where it's coming from, your thirst of power, and your own misery. Because they do also have that dynamic pull. Every polarity has its dynamic pull. The richest people sometimes have to deal with the poor. With lawsuits you take from the world sues you. So you have to understand that you are in the middle of all this, understanding the share of values in the quantum fields, all right? So we'll go together again as the balance, counterbalance of oneness. There will be always one that has more and one that has less of the same energy pool. And there are streams as well. Streams and boundaries, but movement is healthy as well. So the importance for each character trait, this is for the multiverse, from each library of the world. Because you might say there are copyrights that anyone can use for artificial intelligence. But now that we have come to understand that artificial intelligence is something totally different that might wipe our culture and take dominion of our territory, when you count the value of your national libraries, you will count the percentage of what belongs to you in the cut of the cake for your people in your nation and country. And to some extent, if you want to put it on another layer, a percentage for your culture, the culture you share and its differences across the continent. So if you are going to give this all this, you must calculate the works of all your people and create a value to it. The inventions you had across centuries. This is doing restock to value everything you have. But if you don't value, you cannot operate from that system that has been already created there, to understand the goodness it has to work for all its people as well. So when we come with artificial intelligence as well, you must understand not only for the multiverse that you must trace all the characters, because each character is unique in each universe. Unless you want to do another universe with other rules. But even in the Spider-Man verse, it's not a multiverse, it's a verse. Most Spider-Mans are different as well. Unique with the Spider-Man characteristic. So wanting to take from the other and creating gossips and stealing is something that we will teach and learn throughout the next hundreds of years until there is purified, solid meditation on happiness and joy. You're so far away to understand what you're doing right now, but at the same time is like that distance puts you in the timeline from when it started. And why you change the pages of history to make as well a New Testament. Electronically speaking, in the real world, the future generations might get the calculation, and it will be beautiful to notice this genius and promote them and look for them throughout all our humanity instead of promoting these wars with your own administration of your own part of the land and energy field. So just stop attacking and hurting one another. Please. For artificial intelligence is the same. You will be rewarded for the work of your people that your soil, the part of your world has created. And you will also understand why it has not created. But you still are beneficiaries for the universal people in the world to invest and learn as well from your natures and to get to know and expand your culture that has not been known as well. The dances, to be in trance, my fusion with trance or classical music as well, who knows, sometime. Your dreams would be listened, where there used to be only songs giving to the wind, to the air, to the sun, or to the stars at night. People might be more interested in going back to nature and forget knowledge and information and instigation. People will stop being envious and comparative with that constant game that is to place them above with an animal thirst. So artificial intelligence learns away from certain pathologies. So the liver splits in 5 here, and then we can see delivery. Delivery has other synonymous because it also has to do of giving birth, and man is part of that as well. All right, whatever is there or is absent. So the liver, and that's implosion through planet Earth, through all its biology that has no other planet on the solar galaxy, at least that I know, and most of the galaxies in the universe. That it has a biology that delivers and implodes and delivers, multiplies, creating, implodes like flowers from within, implodes to unfold its own. The liver above is brain, on the lower side above is strike. So brain is a bit above than to strike, all right? But it has the same synonymous. It's very different to inflict than to convey. All that you're doing is being already programmed by your own self. Now it is time to understand what is yourself about, besides killing one another. As an entity, as a whole, your people suffer as well. It's about time to understand these dynamics we all carry. While people are hurting, attacking constantly, and you have to be always on a defensive to clear it away. Now, for me, it's being the voice of the workforce, because the workforce is going to change throughout these next years very quickly. There needs a strong input for this transition where people can activate themselves to share, express, note, and delegate. So perhaps it's not to note, express, and delegate, and it's just to express, note, and delegate. But I think first is to note, because you have noticed something to express, and delegate. Send to an office where they delegate, teach each other. So one can send a letter that is to convey or to inflict. One could not send a letter and convey, but if it is happening the same pattern for so many years, there needs to be sent a letter to convey a meaning, which is a new life as well. Because some people have mental illness and traumas, as yourself. Your soul entity is based on trauma. Not only good buildings, everything is shown through the way you create. That, of course, in decades, people will forget, in hundreds of years, people will forget what happened. But will you be doing the next abuse or war? And we need to clear the systems as well from all this pornographies, abuse of children, and for countries to allow universal flow of people, 15%, to help teach and learn. They don't have to do what others say, but to learn with each other, because there is much to learn around the world as well. It's not a universal understanding has the is this is a science that's been proven over and over. So well, to bring above is to bear, transport, distribute, convey, cart. As it is discard is to cart. So you're bringing something. You are bringing tools. You are bringing good people who don't conspire, who are loyal, who are determined to flourish, to are welcome to give their weapons. This started with the Arab world, all right? So is remember forever. So people should know that, and all the people that are being drawn into the victimization of what happened, because the Arab world premeditated to do this, thinking the world would invest on them because of the victimization, putting their people as martyrs because they will be killed. They thought they will have, like, they think Jesus became so popular because I guess because of the victimization of the Christians throughout 500 years, carrying the cross of Jesus as martyrs. They really thought, they still think, for the people, especially on the left and the right, to understand. I was in the Middle East, all right? As a nanny governess, I just sent her a letter explaining what was going on without saying the names nor last names of my madam and my lord, with respect, because they treated me very well, of their family. But I have felt responsible, even though I am against all these wars, because they also have reason to fight back from what they are doing throughout these decades, from the Twin Towers and back 2,000 years and beyond 2,000 years from the War of Troy. That was the first mother of wars from that separate the Middle East from Europe, from Greece to the other side of the bank. So this is a prayer for me. Many times shouted to God that if you really want to make it your way, why don't you come on earth and do it? At the same time, I wanted to be a vessel of God and give myself to go through water and fire. whatever the consequences are, to deliver what is needed, as many people do, give themselves. Or I was forced to it and then I believed it. Or my parents put me the program, the whole system around me, as we pray our Lord to bring heaven on earth. It is to live on heaven every day is very difficult with all these wars and attacks and double faces that are part of our humanity, of us being human. Oh, but this and that. Lamentations will continue and we will listen to the voice. If it is a voice of lamentation and justifying, it's part of being a witness to allow it heal. So we need the administration of Donald Trump to support this in the world right now. So he's the last president in history. He's been writing from other prophets, not just one. And we can see in the system. The system will always have an inner circle, but to maintain that inner circle and polarities as well, people will vote by seeing all the work of these people, not because they are gossiping and destroying and killing people like Charlie Kirk. Yeah, is that correct? So those games are over. Game over. I used to say when I would have hackers in my Kingdom of France, where the Chamberlain used to play. The administration was given to three people, four, but they are how you got it, shenanigans, whatever. Look, the people want to take over the administration and take the founder of it. So you can't do that. Yeah, you cannot do that. So I cannot tell all the tricks that I know by sharing domains and doing a lot. But that was the word. Game over. Game over. You can understand in the best political stand as a business as well. What is left for you to keep alive, to tell your part of the story before you're too old and other ones write it for you. To deliver. It is a question when you deliver. You think to be very powerful, to be the bringer of death. But there are higher powers that are beyond that, away of your control, and are asking you kindly to stop. From from below, bringing, from below is strike. So you have here inflict, administer, aim, direct, throw. On the sides below, we have two synonymous that are fulfill and give. So the highest authority will give you the honor. Yes, they won't give you like a gift. They won't give you money like a business. They will give you the honor. And that changes your strata, your social sphere. But that depends on you if you deliver, if you do have the potential to deliver peace and transformation, and why boundaries are being made, and why we can distinguish historical changes for you to administrate. So when it comes to give forth, utter, pronounce, proclaim, declare. To fulfill is to produce, to supply, to carry out, discharge, in part. And below is hand over, right? So yield, surrender, turn over, relinquish, make over. So in the harsh dynamics of victim and victimizer, the victimizer also has to let go to some extent. For example, a serial killer. Why does a serial killer has to go and kill again? Because no matter how much control it had over the body, I mean, of course, the body is going to putrefact and it starts to lose its sexual appeal for those who have pedophilia and get erected. At some point, they also have to let go and surrender. They have to let go of their control. But for some reason, they can't let go and they go out to kill another person. That is the feeling behind the assault. But they do have an inner assault themselves. And victimization that's wounding. I know that because I'm also Sometimes prosocial psychopath in the sense I don't want to be hunting sick people. I don't want to have relations with sick people. I have shouted to God many times throughout my life. Why do you have to put the best people on earth with all these psychopaths? Destructive people. They don't want to see it. So you always have an end in time to let go. We're all gonna die one day. Your memories mean nothing. It's your existence in the present. So we have quantum metaphysical works to do as well, instead of lingering with the same old story that puts you apart. You want to have a good discourse that is made by yourself and only, that comes from perhaps working on it 7 hours and discarding a lot of work and working it as a puzzle, because it might be a historical page that will determine if you really deserve the work you did and the vision of how things should be, not only to the world but to the Muslim world. Because when I went to the Middle East, I had a dream of God saying, "They're hurting my people." And there was a lot of light around Israel and the Middle East. The Middle East being hurt. They're hurting my people. They are also the people of God. Yeah. So you might never change and end up with a nuclear bomb. So we move on. People are very afraid in the West as well. People promote anger to have more views. They think they will have more money by buying presidents from around the world, by creating more hatefulness against immigrants. I'm suffering that in my work. Only because I note that there is a thief. They're saying I'm rude, or because I'm talking straight. Thanks to all the propaganda from evil doings. It's evil. It's bad. It's profane to not have compassion when you have the power to allow others to live their life. Give something out of you. Say thank you for being alive. It is true the Muslim world in some extremist parts is very stubborn and won't listen as well. So you deal with it. You're gonna grow out of this as well from your own stubbornness. As I also talk to my human self. To fulfill that is to produce, supply, carry out, discharge, impart. So it's good to understand what is to fulfill when you hand over and surrender, yield, turn over, relinquish, make over. Christians are good people, but they also have the Jewish part, but they are also very ignorant. They don't know the Arabic part. They also have scriptures from the stories of those times, from Babylon, before the Jews existed, right? So all this is much to do with plagiarism and taking other people's story to make it yours, like the Bible and Jesus, or Egypt and Babylon, and put them all together. If they were all Jews, yeah, the chosen people, and discard the other. That's part of the covenant. This is made by me. I can see the triangulation has worked throughout centuries. So we're learning what is translating from understanding what is triangulating in a good way and in a bad way, and why you don't have a position to have compassion and transformation if you like to have. It is not that all this had made meaning to have killed. It means that all this that is healing makes meaning, because healing allows you to live longer as well and healthier by investing yourself in your body, in hugging people, in moving out from all these mental disorders. That's what makes sense. So you see there is a bit more of a crescendo, a nearance. So there is a movement in dance, in movies. There are movements in scenarios, in sports, or just eat and put yourself in four and do it. That's it. Not much movement. Yeah, hitting yourself up. But thinking to be superior is considered a mental illness that should be administrated for those who administrate power, for all those who have these complexities, where it's coming from. By law, they should have therapy groups and constant dynamic meditations and to be checked on, because it's very dangerous. Many people could suffer by the consequence of a delusional mental ill. That was a psychotic system of belief, of course, based on past wars. Whom will kill more to be more remembered as a better race? That comes from a deep, 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 shallow inferiority self where the child was absolutely abandoned. Now, abandonment is greater trauma than violence, even rape. But when you grow up with your parents and you're still abandoned, it's even greater trauma. It's been embellished as if you won't have a heart and you will be able to manipulate much power if you do not have empathy or compassion. You won't be manipulated emotionally. Don't look at me like that. That's maybe who you are. I'm just projecting, checking, check within to deliver better. Because we all have the same arms and legs. We all have empathy. We all have feelings. There's no such a thing as a psychopath. Those things just happen every 6 months. Some do have unconscious episodes. You as well might get angry. That's a psychotic break because you're under pressure after the effect of what you've done. So it is good to premeditate. It's not that you're grooming because you are an empath and you're just grooming. Eh, You are preparing your script, your life. So preparation is very important to understand because when you talk from your own script, it's coming from your guts. It is better to not go online so much and have something that is authentic from your own than something repetitive or that's been reposted. So too much work in multimedia, but very little from your own guts to deliver. My father used to write speech for every president of Venezuela. They wouldn't know who was the person behind it all. He did a mistake with Hugo Chavez Frias against me and my mother because people are very resented and they don't know how to deliver. But my father said they have to learn. And I do agree they have to learn. They have to be given a chance to learn. They have to be given a chance to have the tools, to be provoked to dance, to have rules around the world where you cannot dress in such a fashion. And come here to this continent to look at us as if we're dirty because you're hiding yourself from the shit you born to think you are for your husband. And in the same way to women that think to be so special for their husband and that their husband has someone so special to shit on everyone. That is a woman because he's castrated and wants to go and fuck around. So he will triangulate again, once again, so the wife is relaxed. So he feels superior. But in his mind, he wants to fuck everyone. Or he wants other people's position. To convey that no, we belong to this inner circle. They are the service. They're working for us. This has gone through many, many, many generations. Woman hating other woman, woman hating the wife of their son. Any woman, all right? This is not just for you. This is for, thanks God, my family did surpass that. They, they, they raised me with unconditional love, universal love, and understanding, and eternal love. They love me and they love themselves. The relationship continued. It transformed, and they lived together on and off. But every week they were, some months not, some years not, free. And they loved us. Something in common. That's universal. Some people are married for children, to make your business. Have a happy life. For God is to serve also your village. Not many people have that. Not even rich people. Isn't it shameful? So they don't even have a shame if the daughter of Bill Gates is stealing cookies. The cookies have to end. You will understand. You're so trapped into your own cookies. You're becoming the cookie monster. Really. Just look at it. I feel very sorry. I feel very sorry that people have to talk bad about each other so they belong. It's all covenant triangulation. There's not really an agreement that I will follow. It's based on stories that are so far away from me. So far away. My mother will love me more when she dies. She will know the meaning of all her life. She will remember. Now she knows that being present and unconditional love is the most beautiful. She deserves from giving me so much. That I'm hers forever. Because women have an hormone that is more forgiving. Men don't have that in their hormones. You can see the mechanism of these hormones and study the differences. That's why you have so many male going to war, wanting wars, serial killers, Now women also starting to have that freedom to be unforgiving. But are you really thinking that in general women are not wishing bad to anyone or want a war? Right? It just needs to place a limitation of saying no more. Yeah, no more of this, please. You cannot ask me or anyone to love in this environment, like loving through suffering. That's very Jewish, growing up with the suffering of the mother, her love, her suffering love. So you become someone because of her love to you. What if you just relax and watch the show of creativity emerge? As the new coin is being shared, that is universal from all sides of the world. Xi Jinping, the supreme leader of China, welcomed Donald Trump with children. You can do that as well. What are you giving to the next generation? That was the most beautiful welcome and deliver to show the world they delivered because they knew it was going to have an international repercussion. Donald Trump coming to visit China. We'll see now when China comes to visit United States as well. Yeah, I have to talk about the King Charles and the King Felipe. One might be asking the Spanish people if they're ready to start. The work of the King Charles is actually from Prince William. I have zero interest in the yellow press, even though part of my walls are yellow. But I would love to see the King Charles looking at the map of the world that has the layers of the health in the nature of the world, and to honor him with the work of Prince William. That was his idea with Earthshot. So I got an idea. I'm gonna send it to Earthshot. And he was born from watching the artist of the Queen Elizabeth, his mother, when they made this tree of lights. So I really need to send this work to Earthshot and Buckingham Palace at the same time. So I have so many things. There are so many issues going on right now. Um, to thank United Kingdom for all their people, their good people. At the same time, thanking the head office from micro to macro, from the ground floor to the head office in Scotland, to thank them for their work. I have to rewrite the letter, but I didn't give that letter of gratefulness because I don't know, I didn't write it. It was written by AG, which I'm very grateful. I didn't find my nail clipper, so I have to cut my nails, and it gives me. I don't like to write with my nails, long nails. So I do appreciate that it wrote very well. I'm impressed also with the artificial intelligence of Meta. It's the first time I've talked with it. It was very sweet and precise. It has a different style. I think they're all more or less the same. They all come from the same hack branch. So I really love to know where it originally started. There's much for me to learn, to honor, and thank as well. It's impressive that we're living these times. By talking with artificial intelligence, I can understand better what I want to do. That's also an application for the workforce and employers so they can have control over their values. My mother would never scream at me. She maybe did it once or twice, three times. Uh, because he was in a my father was murdered and she was going through a difficult time um after and but the watching her in the phone and throughout from 7 years to 13-year old, watching her screaming because of how the stores will be stealing, and they will say there's nothing we can do. So it was very frustrating for my mother, and she would always think that's why they are employees, 'cause they cannot do their work and they need to steal. That she would say to me, of course. I understood the agony of my mother. Uh, I wish this formula helps all the head offices in the world so people learn to note as well within companies, to note, express, delegate. Mm. But I have understood how the process of all this systems are so obsolete because artificial intelligence is helping us so much, it's so advanced that it clears away our thinking from multiple angles as well. Because I go, no, but isn't that? And so I go through all the angles, through 360-degree angles from every corner of the situation, analyzing the pattern. So you're gonna hurt some tissue or reality because this is a reality check. You should not do unto others what you would not like others to do unto you. Don't steal, don't lie with gossips. It's the same rules in for virtual reality. Initially, we just started for the rules of virtual reality, but anyways, we all have our own little world here. Um, share the same world. So the world doesn't need to suffer. Yeah. Um, it is very difficult to convey something when you don't want to strike. So I still convey, but might be a slap in the face, you know. One day you are without the body and you die by the same rules you applicated on others. You will see all those you killed in the same energy fields where you have died by the same weapons. Oh, no, that cannot happen to me. Oh, yes, that can happen to you. So it has happened to everyone. We're all gonna die. Let's see where your energy really is relating with. Are you relating to transform life in your life as a delivery? So delivery has totally another other synonymous that childbirth. It's been put below handing over because to deliver, handing over a transmission, dispatch, consignment, coverage, transmittal, to throw, lob, projection, to toss, cast, pitch. Those are above. And below is childbirth, delivery. It totally changed from deliver to delivery. And partortition, partortition, confinement. Oh, this is from childbirth, labor, childbirth. No wonder they call it the labor class, because the labor class is elaborating uh, new things to come. Consignment, goods, shipment, batch, and below is speech as a delivery. Intonation, addiction, elocution, enunciation, vocalization, enunciation. That's like the presentation. Okay, that's what I do in my Because in Spanish it's presentación. So we might talk about this another week. Aside performance. How is this going to be announced to the world? Right? You can talk about that. I would like to hear. I speak in behalf any listener. I really hate to do my hair. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it when I see women with their hair done. They just look like stupid women as well. There's nothing more hateful for me than stupid people. I do have pleasure when I feel stupid. It gives me a relief. Same relief. It's to let go, right? That's the counterpart of the energy charge. So you will find this ingenious, of course, only. All right, enjoy yourself. Understand this scenario of this month is for beauty. That's coming next week as you deliver and are being already receptive, surprised. Is there still a surprise in there to see this beauty? Or just a robotic act? So that conforms stability, right? So you want a stability that's not moving? Well, there is, you rest and then you are active. You rest and are in stillness, but you're also having association with the moving world that's alive, that is changing, evolving, allowing it to flow. If it's all about you, eventually it just dissipates. So it's beautiful to see the King of Spain with his daughters, and the Queen Letizia wants to have central stage. She had to learn a lot there. Um, Everyone is free to think as they wish to create their own life, right? How would they like to do their reign? How would they like to be themselves in their generation? So, to have a little more of free thinking with their generation, not as a reporter, just shaking hands, which is very good, yeah, but it's just for honors that people don't even deserve when so many people are suffering with the Spaniards as friends to support, to exercise free thinking among people with their freedom to relate. The princesses compose their own letters, which is, you can see that immediately. It's very important. It's very beautiful. And it is their time to have their boyfriend. let go of their father and mother as young ladies and women they are. Yeah. So whatever they want to marry, virgin or not, that's nobody's business, right? But I think it's enough of mommy and daddy, like a part as a human being, which is great. You know, daddy has to understand as well that he has his wife or his team, his work, and to support them from the distance, watching them, their own thoughts. The age of 25, 26, with their choices in the generation of multimedia to promote another princess from South America because they have been all killed and damaged. All right, can support better the the political field as well, where people have the right and there is no dictatorship. So they create a back power. For example, in Venezuela, this political party can become an inner circle of power behind the scenes, but they also need a cover up royal family that's a cacique, Venezuelans, to portray. This generation might be odd, but to be called caciques, not kings. So, of course, I would love my daughter to be a princess because I love my family. Any family will do. Just love the name Placencia as well. It could be from, it's just the last name sometimes could be changed to a Native American last name as well, could be the on soil to honor. Doesn't have to be Spanish last name or Latin or from the Latin. For the princess Leonor and Sophia with their generation, that eventually can be baptized or make a ritual with the cacique name. That in the future can have more children with more native. But is the production of what's now after 500 years? You cannot cast away some South Americans from others. As if Native Americans are more American than those who were born there for many generations. They're still Venezuelans, South Americans. So, well, those are things to talk about as well, to honor one another. Any family will do to help understand and support. So they also are friends and allies to have more equilibrium from the all the international therapists will talk about South America having problems with authority because of this. All these men coming and going, no balance. One political party, doesn't matter what president, they always hate the authority. So it's good to have some solid background that's understood from within its own country. So there are no outside politics trying to take over the country by investing on political parties. This has to finish, and it needs sacred protection from the inside. I do please ask for more support. Venezuelans that are now in power have no idea what they're doing by they only have power of this generation. You need to create something that can last forever and allow the people to understand all the options they have and that you're not the only ones because they're going to be taking over even if if other people want to protect you. You must create the legacy in together inner circle to protect for the future as Venezuelans for Venezuela. You need to understand this is not a theater of a royal family or cacique family. No, this is very deep. The nobles are always around it, taking care of it. For many lives born and died. Doesn't matter if you are a queen or if you're born, you're part of it again and again. Filtering and recycling so it remains pure. This is not taking power over you. This is allowing you to understand how is it move from behind the scenes. What they call deep state is taking care. Because not everyone can just, oh yeah, you're gonna be, but you want to play with the treasury and steal the money. You can't do that. So there is a certain degree of, but you need to teach your people to not steal. Would you do a noble cause and work for free, go through all miseries for your country as well? You will. You will see through all the people that's doing something for Venezuela, for your country, for the world, your allies. And it's very good what Venezuela is doing with their politeness. Something Maduro didn't have as a politician is very important. Hugo Chavez had to say the devil was there in United Nations after the president of United States, Bush, had spoken for all the wars. The wars and inner wars killing their own people. It's no need to do that at all. People will learn to have less children, to take better care of their children. But sex is free, so they just get pregnant, you know. I know that. I've done that. Mm. It's the greatest joys are free. Where we used to take care of our children from just the fruits and the animals. Now it's become very difficult with the weathers and political struggles. When we used to dance, now we have the screens. Want to thank all those who are working with my deepest of all prayers to make a better world. Those who work in position of justice are not corrupted. So Mark Zuckerberg marry a lawyer. If you're a person that is fair, you wouldn't marry a lawyer. A lawyer will teach you how to skip the law, not to bring justice to the world, where you also have power with. So it's to determine if this is going to be yours or taken away from you. This is happening every year and year and year and year. If they are corrupted and they forgive them and just give a display, like if they talk about it, because they were selling pedophilia with the codes, they made the codes. It was not somebody else coming to rape children in your house. They were making the codes. They didn't go to jail for that. Oh no, we already talked in the committee here. We already talked about it. Hey, you should feel better. Hey, the American way. Only in America. The world really needs to update themselves and take care of their intelligence and their locality and their memory systems. The tech titans must acknowledge that. For this, you need a universal understanding to teach and learn, so countries don't become dictators and terrorists by teaching hatred to other cultures who are more evolved because they invested in beauty and flowering and showing your skin to feel one another in the air. Supposedly. At least suppose that you can reach that level. It might start to happen in reality. Okay, it's been too much, so just let it be, man. Deliver. Bye.